Hey guys, so welcome to episode 9 of the Silver Lining series. So we are back at the Mecca this week, and actually last week I was kind of just letting you think that this was all like my normal filming, but actually we filmed this entire thing for episode 8 and episode 9 on the same day because sometimes life gives you lemons. So last week we filmed the entire episode for number 8. It took us 5 hours to film the entire thing, and some technical shit happened and we lost the entire 5 hours of footage. So we tried to recover it, we couldn't. Basically, today I've had to film the entire thing again, as well as filming this episode, number 9. So shit happens, and what you have to do when shit happens is do the best that you can with the situation. There was no point in having a cry about the fact that I'd lost 5 hours of footage, and I just had to suck it up and get my ass down here, reshoot the whole thing, and I've been able to use that happening is, to find a silver lining in being here, doing all this again. I love what I do. I didn't really plan on spending this entire day here filming, but we have recreated the whole thing for you. So today in episode 9, I have got my friend Lindsay, who is an amateur bikini competitor. She trains here. She has just done her first national show, and she is a total sweetheart. I see her every morning. I chat with her on the Stairmaster about her goals, about what she wants to achieve. So I thought it would be a really cool opportunity to get her in here today so that she could we could do like a real live Q&A so that you could see, she's just gonna ask me things. She's gonna put me on the spot. As a bikini competitor, aspiring to turn pro, aspiring to build her business, and I'm not saying that I've achieved all these things. I'm still working to grow, but as someone, I guess, who she can look up to in certain areas of her story, I thought it'd be really cool for her to be able to ask me questions about training, about anything. So we're going to bring her in here and we're going to do a live Q&A, and we are also going to do a training session so that I can help her to find some kind of new ways of training with her glutes and hamstring stuff to make some real improvements in that area, because that's one of the areas of physique that she wants to work on in her improvement season that she's just going into. So you're going to meet Lindsay, and we're going to do Q&A and train. Alright, so I've got my girl Lindsay here, and she's just done her first national NPC show in Miami, and she is in here every day. I see her busting her ass on that Stairmaster, and she's now going into her first decent improvement season that you've had since she started competing, right? So yes. She's been competing a lot, and now she's going to take a decent break to make some real improvements in her physique. So I thought it would be a cool opportunity to have Lindsay here so that she can ask me some questions, to pick my brain about anything. I have no idea what she's gonna ask me. Like, hopefully it's not like relationship advice or something. Yeah, nah. She's gonna pick my brain, and I'm gonna do my best to help her out. And then what we're gonna do is I'm going to kind of take Lindsay through some of the tips that I have used to really develop my glutes and hamstrings over, the recent years. Because going into her improvement season, that is an area that she really wants to focus on. So if you have not already read it, I did an article on my blog, so sheenajanefitness.com/blog, an article on developing the glute hamstring tie-in. That is going to be kind of the focus of what we're going to go through today, because I started with pretty strong hamstrings, like not as in like strength, how much I can lift, but they were dominant compared to my glutes, which were smaller, flat. They didn't pop. I had to spend a lot more time developing my glutes so that I had more of a balance between my glutes and my hamstrings. I've learned a lot over the years. I've developed a glute training program. I just want to share some of that knowledge with Lindsay so that she can get all bootylicious in this improvement season. So she's going to ask me whatever she wants to ask me about training and things.
Yeah, so for all you guys, I am not blessed in the booty area, so I do need Sheena's advice on this. My first question would definitely be regarding your off seasons, or I know that you're always back to back to back to back to back, like keep going, competing, because you prep yourself, or you prepped yourself for the most part,
yeah.
Right? Yeah. When, if at all, did you take an off season or improvement season, and what did that consist of? I want to know, like, mindset-wise, the shifts that happened, how long the improvement season was, because I'm like having trouble shifting my mindset towards my training, because I want to develop. I don't want to take time off, but I want to enjoy myself. I want to like get back to just getting in the gym and busting my ass and like having fun, but also not losing ground, like shoulders, glutes, like things like that. So
I didn't actually start training until 2013. So I literally did an 8-week prep for my first show. I started training. I used to teach Les Mills body pump. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Les Mills classes, but so I used to teach group fitness classes. So I did like some low weight, high resistance stuff, but I didn't start like true strength training for, to change the way I look until the middle of 2013. So I did my first show, I did the Nationals 3 weeks later, which I won, and I qualified to be invited to the Arnold Amateur in Ohio, because if you're not from America, you actually have to be invited to do that, you can't just go. So I kind of had like from October to March, that was kind of my first little stint, I guess, and I've taken some small breaks, but I've never had more than like 6 months off in between. So, obviously, if you want to put on a decent amount of muscle, the best way to do that is to give yourself more time so you can eat more, be less tied up in being lean, and actually just eat and train hard to grow. Obviously, if you're trying to like stay leaner, so you're still doing cardio, you're not eating so much, that's going to be a much longer road. So I have never had, as I said, more than 6 months off. But
is that off of a show or off of a prep? Like you come out, like you hit a show 6 months?
Off of a show.
Damn.
Yeah. I've never had more than 6 months between shows.
4 years.
4 years. Yeah. So what I would do is any time where I had a few months to really like kind of make some ground work. The thing is though, my body, obviously, because I haven't been training for long, when you first start doing something, your body's like, oh shit, like what's going on? And you see a lot of change quickly, So for example, when I first started training, I was told to grow my shoulders. So I was like, okay. So I smashed my shoulders, heavy as hell, 3 times a week, and my shoulders were ridiculous. I'll send you a throwback photo from like 2000. Honestly, I look like
built as push.
I look scary. I'm like, damn, I'll look at that again. Because I hadn't ever really trained like with hypertrophy as like a primary goal. I'd only done like low weight, high rep work. My body did respond pretty quickly. But it took me a lot of time, I think, with the whole glute ham thing. Because I've never had a trainer, I've always trained myself, and I'm quad dominant. It took me quite a while to learn all of the best ways to hit the glutes without the quads being recruited. So it was like, over the years, I did build up my glutes. I'll go more into kind of what I found to work the most. But it was like my quads kind of, even though I had never trained them, I'd never tried to grow them, they kind of incidentally just grew a little bit. Not dramatically, but like, just a little bit, because it took me time to really figure out what I could do. Like, I never squat. I will never, ever squat unless I'm in a Smith machine. You can afford to grow your quads, so you could afford to do heavy squats. But for me, I started ballet when I was 3. I've always had muscly legs all through school. I was like, oh, I can't date that guy, my legs are bigger than his. Can't date that guy, my legs are bigger than his. Shit. But like,
when you find a bodybuilder.
Yeah, I've always had big, like, not big, but I've always had muscly legs, and like until I started competing, I hated my legs. I was like so self-conscious of them. I was like, I want a thigh gap. Like I'm naturally pretty athletic as well. So, but what I have tried to do, anytime I've had time, my priority would be to whack my cardio back. So you're not doing as much cardio. Obviously, if you want to build muscle, if you've been kind of going and going and going, it's like your body is not in a comfortable, safe position to want to build muscle. And that's the same thing where a lot of girls end up getting into problems with their hormones. Because
that's another question.
Okay, so you just go and go and go, and your body is like, oh my god, this is so stressful. And I actually, before I started competing, when I was doing a lot of group fitness and when I was battling an eating disorder, I went through a period of 2 years where I didn't have one cycle.
That's literally right where I am.
So I went through that for 2 years, and it was actually not until I kind of got into the sport and found a purpose to my training that I kind of, I got over that. But the thing is, like, if you are always going and going and going, your body gets to this point where it's like, well, not safe, let's turn everything off. So what I had was hypothalamic, hypothyroid amenorrhea. So that's like my pituitary has gone, oh shit, no, this is stressful, can't have kids. Well, she's gonna like get so skinny because she's doing so much cardio, so let's turn her thyroid hormones down, let's turn her reproductive hormones down. And I had like all of my thyroid hormones were suppressed, and all of my my estrogen was like non-existent. So I fixed it. I was seeing a hormone specialist, and we tried like slowing down my training, eating more, but mainstream medicine doesn't quite get some of the stuff. Like, she was like to me, you need to put on weight. And at the time I was prepping for a show, right? So I was getting leaner, and I was trying to build muscle. So I said to her, oh yeah, I've been like not doing any cardio and I've been eating more.
Nice.
And I was getting heavier because I was building muscle. And so she's thinking, oh yeah, you put on weight. I'm like, yo, I'm leaner and I'm heavier because I've got muscle. So they're kind of on this whole BMI thing, and it's not real to actually, you don't actually need to get heavier as such. You actually need to change the environment that your body is finding subconsciously stressful, I think is the main thing.
Okay, interesting.
So well, I mean, obviously if you're doing a ton of cardio, that is taxing on your body, but you need to create a less taxing environment. So obviously having more body fat so that your body is more comfortable is good. But a lot of the time it is actually a psychological thing. I wasn't getting my cycle back, but I was getting heavier, and I was like, my estrogen hormones were improving, but I still just hadn't got my cycle back yet. So she's like, it looks like it's coming. And I'm like, I was getting blood tests every month, and she ended up saying, do you feel depressed? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, like, I hate my job. I'm in a marriage I'm not really that keen on. Yes, maybe I am depressed. And so she actually put me on antidepressants for 6 months. Within 1 month, I got my period back. 1 month of taking them, I finished the box and never took them again. I've actually had a number of clients that have actually had a GP. I've said to them, hey, well, just suggest this to your GP and see if they think that might help. Because it's not, depression's not like, oh, poor me. It's like an actual chemical something, you know? It's not actually you being like negative or whatever. And, you know, it gets this kind of like negative rap, you know, in society a lot of the time. But that literally, it was obviously something that was in my own mind. I was so like, I don't know, I guess there's just so much like shit. And I think, I mean, that's been the same for, I've had a number of clients who have, before they've came to me, they've been like starving themselves and doing a lot of training to try and lose weight or whatever, and it hasn't been until we've got them into like this, I guess, healthy routine, but not just healthy as in not killing themselves in the gym, but healthy like mentally. You know, I've had a number of clients that we've worked just to take our time to get their cycle back, and I've had multiple clients that have gone from having no cycle to getting it back and then falling pregnant, which is really amazing.
She's not saying take antidepressants. That's not her suggestion.
That's not my suggestion, but I'm saying that actually was what helped me, because it was like, I'm such a perfectionist and I'm so like type A driven. I want this. I don't give a fuck what it takes. I just want this, and I'm gonna work my ass off till I get it. But sometimes when you are so like relentless like that, you forget to enjoy life and to do the other stuff, and to, you know, you kind of forget what matters sometimes. So that is what my hormone specialist suggested to me. It worked. I'm not saying that's the solution, but I'm saying don't just look at what you are physically putting your body through as the issue, but also look at what's going on upstairs. Because I mean, I believe that your mind is stronger than your body. You know, I know that my mind, I mean, the last prep I did, my mind, I could have kept going. I would have kept going after the Olympia and kept pushing myself, but my body had just been like, yeah, no, like, I'm done, I'm tapping out, I'm gone. So I kind of lost control at that point. You know, when you're going into your improvement season, I would think having that balance will help, you know, having that, so you've got like, I guess taking like a more holistic approach. I personally don't like it when people say like, you don't have any balance. I'm like, well, balance to me is training, having the right people in my life that are actually contributing and making it better, not, you know, it's not like, hey, who can have the most friends and go to the most parties. That's not my vibe. It is, I'm about quality over quantity, you know. So balance for me is having enough time to do all of my work, to prioritize my training, to spend some time with people that matter to me. Balance to me is not like, yeah, I'm gonna like train Monday to Friday and then go get fucked up on the weekend. Like that's not me. I mean, it's never been me, you know. But I think a lot of it is like, you need to find obviously what works for you. Right. If you're wanting to build muscle going into like an improvement season, I would say that's the perfect time to be wanting to also get your hormones doing what they should be doing again as well, by kind of taking a step back. Obviously if you're doing like less intense cardio, that's going to give your body more of a break. What I always did try to do, and what I always try to do like with my clients, is like, if you are in a downtime, what you essentially want to be doing is you want to be gradually building your calories up so that you create more of a buffer, so that when you are then going to start a prep again, hopefully, like if you manage to get your calories from 1200 up to 3000 over the course of 6 months, imagine how much easier your prep will be starting from 3000 than,
that's the goal,
you know. So I mean, that's not like a general, obviously like some people respond better having a higher fat diet. Some people respond better with carbohydrates. I find personally that if I'm trying to grow, carbs are super important. If you're going from having like less carbs to wanting to add them in to grow, and you're like, oh, I don't want to like blow out because I'm adding all these carbs in, I have like a peri-workout focus to my nutrition usually, so I would have the carb mostly around my training, so that before and after training is the obvious time to utilize them the best way for the workout and then to recover, obviously.
That's what I've been like too.
Being like conscientious with, make sure you're taking all of your supplements and getting all of your micros in as well, so that you are getting to just taking a more like getting to a more holistic, I guess, approach. You do want to be training hard, obviously, to grow, but do keep in mind that like if you've been going and going and going, actually probably taking a week off and not lifting a single weight and then going back to it, your body's going to be like, oh. Whereas if you're like on prep, going, Stairmaster, lifting, high reps, volume, and then you just start eating more and doing the same thing, your body's still like, whoa, like this is so stressful, like a lot of the time after a show, I will actually say to my clients, you are banned from the gym for a week. I don't care, do whatever you want, like take a day to eat whatever food you want to eat, and then I will put them back onto a plan which is not like a peak week plan, not super restrictive, like adding basically, gradually building up in terms of nutrition, but I will say just stay out of the gym, and then I will often, even if we're looking at like having a long period, I will often say nothing, have a week of rest, like go for a walk, that's fine, get a massage, do yoga, but you're not going to train normal way for a week. And then sometimes if we've got more time up our sleeves, okay, so let's just add in cardio each day, just like half an hour to keep things moving, but actually give them that time away from training. That is when you'll find that obviously your body is going to really like respond quickly when you start again. That was kind of like, like for me, I've only been lifting for like a short amount of time, and at the start, that was when I saw the most dramatic improvements quickly, because my body's like, holy shit, what is this? And that's the same effect that you can create if you can actually just like take a break. Like it's about finding, what works for you, because a lot of people are like, oh, if you want to build muscle, you got to do 6 to 8 reps, and it's got to be really heavy, and you've got to lift so heavy that you must be wearing a weight belt, otherwise you can't perform it properly and all that shit. I mean, I've never found that is the best way. No, I've found that the best way is to never have a way that you do. The best way is to do different shit.
I like that. Yeah, that is true.
I mean,
without losing like your mind over it, like I need to change exactly what I'm doing every single time. I can't do the same lift twice, like blah, 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 blah. Like otherwise I'm not gonna build.
I mean, in coaching myself, through a lot of the time when I'm training myself, I don't have a training plan at all.
Usually, do you just walk in and
I
like
walk
make it
in,
up?
I'm like, okay, what's less sore? Okay, I'll do that.
And
because
then
I'm
have
listening
like a time frame.
I'm listening to my body, and I'm like, oh, I mean, I would just, if you're fatigued, if you're failing, you're like, okay, I'm done here. This is my job's done here. So. For most of the time training myself, I go into the gym, I would decide, like I would have a rough plan. Every week I'm going to do like, if obviously glutes has been a priority, I've been doing like 3 sessions. Some days I would do like 2 days on, 1 day off, another day. Sometimes I would do like glutes, upper. I always will do like some hamstring stuff with the glutes. Sometimes it'll be more like glute iso, hamstring iso. Sometimes it's more like a combo. So I will show you like some of the like ways I do supersets, or like do particular exercises that are really good for getting glutes and hamstrings at once. I am always focusing on what I feel, not what I'm doing. So we'll say, oh, you've got to do like this and then add this weight on and then do this many reps. I don't even count my reps most of the time. I do as many reps until I'm fearing it. Yeah, exactly. And I listen to my body, and obviously you've got to actually learn enough to know what to do. And a lot of people ask me about like mind to muscle connection and all these types of things, and it is a process of learning. You've got to be willing to learn. If you are the type of person who doesn't want to learn and just wants to be told what to do, that's fine. There are athletes out there that they like, I will look bomb, tell me what to do, I'm going to do it, and I'll be like, okay, do this day and this day, and I write them their full program with the exact reps, the exact sets, everything is in there with all the pointers. But for me personally, I mean, it's the same thing that I do when I'm writing a program for a client. I'm looking at, okay, what do we want to improve, how are we going to structure things so that we are going to give the most improvement to that body part or whatever. So for me, I've been working on filling out my glutes. I also am now working more on like rounding out my shoulders again. I mix up the variety of what I'm doing. So sometimes I will do like 2 days in a row of glutes. One might be heavy and then one might be all volume work, and then I'll do another one which is more like glute ham compound kind of stuff. Sometimes I will do a day that's plyo. Sometimes I will just go glutes and then upper body and then glutes and then upper body, and I will break up the week like that. But I'm usually doing 3 sessions, and I find that by never actually doing the same thing, my body is always, it's always a challenge because you're throwing in different stuff. I mean, for my glutes, I'm kind of at the point now, well, one, I do need a massage, but two, I'm kind of like, they are always sore. I'm like, when do I start training them again?
Yeah, a little bit of rest.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like when you don't have a set, like, even program for yourself or like some type of structure, you just have like overall goals, like I want to improve my glutes, improve my shoulders, if you're changing things all the time, do you ever feel like you're losing ground or just kind of like running on a wheel, like not, how do you like gauge your own improvement and know that you're still striving toward building those muscles or those improvements?
For me, I will have, so if I've got a period of time between shows, I will be aiming to improve as much as possible on whatever aspect of my physique is in that time. For you, like if you've got a longer period of time, it's obviously going to be important to have something measurable so you can see if it's actually working. And I guess that's where there's kind of the difference between if you're being coached by someone, because your coach will be like looking at your check-in photos. Well, obviously I can see that my glutes are filling out more. I can feel that I'm killing them in the gym.
Very aware.
I'm sore. For me, it's like I've got this degree of knowledge from doing it, like trying different things for myself and learning all these different things for so long that it's like I kind of am just like feeling my way. And that's kind of hard because I mean, like, I'm a control freak and I like to know. I'm like, I want to know X, Y, Z, and I want to know what time this is happening and when I'm doing this. And, I'm like, I like structure, so it is very mentally challenging to be kind of just like freestyling it. But I mean, I guess I just kept kind of, trusting my instincts and trusting what I've been doing. And I've kept making consistent improvements all the time. So I guess it's kind of just been a little bit of having faith. But I mean, if you're being coached by someone, obviously you want to be trusting that process to your coach, right? And being like, okay, so this is what I want to improve. Tell me what to do. Tell me how to do it. And you want to obviously have someone who is willing to learn your body enough and know your body enough to know what's best. But I would say that trying to set up a clear structure with what it is that you want to improve and try some different things and keep a record of what you're doing. That's gonna be, like when I've been doing my own prep, so for nutrition, for example, I'm doing my own prep and everyone's like, what are your macros? I'm like, I don't know, let me check my diary. Like, I'm often making it up as I go, but I record it so I can then be like, so I didn't see changes this week, so what did I do last week? Okay, and I can see that, and now I'm going to tweak this, and then I'll move forward and should see changes the next time. So I've got it all written down so I can go back to it. And it's also been really handy prepping myself. I can look back at my prep for the Arnold Classic Australia in 2016 and be like, okay, that's exactly what I did peak week. I know exactly what I did, when I cut my water, how many grams of carbs I did for my carb up. I can go back to that and I can look at it. So if you've got like actual records of stuff like that, for me with my clients, I'm like, this is the plan, follow the plan. Then I can obviously go back to the plan and be like, okay, well if you're following this exactly, I can look at this, look at how your body's changed and make the right changes. So coaching someone is easy. Making it up as you go for yourself is harder because you've got to be that like objective person as well as in your own head, like remove your own emotions from it. And so I mean, that's why I made the decision to work with Kim Odo, for next year. Because I was like, okay, well, I've made it this far on my own. It's very hard prepping yourself. All that stuff is really hard. It's hard to look at yourself and not even have someone to be like, do you think I should do this many grams of carbs, or maybe that's too much, or do you think I should cut my water earlier? Doing all of that yourself is very hard, particularly if you're a perfectionist and you want to have everything right. Like, it's hard to trust the process when you're making the process up as you go, obviously. So that is why I was like, I want to be a better coach, and I know that if I am not constantly inside my own head being like, should I do this week? What should I do with how should I adjust my macros, whatever, I feel like by giving Kim the reins for me and just actually, it's really nice to have someone that's actually supportive as well. Like, I talk to him every week, and he's always like, well, you know, you're doing great. It's just like, and I'm not having to be my own cheerleader all the time. You know, I've got someone that's actually rooting for me for once. It's not like, I believe in me, and everyone else is like, who's this girl? Like, so, you know, it's really nice to actually have someone that wants me to do well, not just me being like, yo, I can do this, because that's hard. You know, it's hard to always be traveling on my own in hotels, like prepping on my own, training on my own, and it's kind of, that's when the sport can be quite isolating, I guess. But, you know, and even now in your like improvement season, that's a perfect time to be able to like spend more time with friends, have a more balanced lifestyle in ways that you actually want to balance it. Don't just be like,
I'm gonna
you
go
know,
make
not
myself
getting,
paint and like
torn in every direction
run
because society thinks that you should actually go out and eat pizza and get drunk. Like,
Right, yeah,
no, that's not the
exactly.
kind of balance I want. Like, I get to choose what I actually want and find balance within your own vision of what actually you want. Like,
I feel you. I think that's really, really important. That's why everybody wants it, but nobody has it.
well, I mean, I've always had people like, particularly when I was back in New Zealand, because New Zealand's a small country and everyone's all like, oh, look at her, she's so cocky, she's achieved this and that. Like, people are very like, it would be easier if everyone just blended in like, oh, you know, I'm just doing one, you know, like, if you stand out and you're like doing this big like go-getting thing, often you're like kind of ostracized a bit, and it's like,
kinda
you
how
know,
I
people
felt
will be like, oh, you know, she's always eating salads and studios. I'm like, why do you care? Like, if my idea of having a cheat meal is like throwing a bunch of like hummus and almonds and like fancy shit in my
you.
salad, why do you
Having like
care?
real
Like,
dressing. What?
yo, like, if that's what I like, I don't give a shit what you like. Go and eat pizza and burgers and whatever. Go and have ice cream. Like, that's fine. Like, that's your
like, this
jam.
tastes good,
This
I
is
like this.
your life. This is my life. I'll do what the fuck I want. Like, I think it's hard because social media is always like,
Gives you ideas
I'm doing
of what's
this,
the right
and like,
way.
so it's like, okay, well, because everyone else is doing that, is that all of a sudden what I have to do to be like normal?
Right.
No, you don't. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. So if you want to eat a fancy salad, I mean, I love salads. I'm such a salad person, and like, I think I had to be very kind of stubborn. I am stubborn, but I had to be like very stubborn, I think, to kind of like just keep doing what I was doing and like deflect all of these like haters that are just like picking at me because I'm this and I'm that. I'm like, yo, actually, I don't care. I'm doing this. You do you, I'll do me, and let's see who actually gets to where they want to be. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, did you have to like compartmentalize like your emotions when because you've been like, it seems like you've been in like a 5-year like transition / growing / self-awareness like phase of life. So it's it's hard. Like I'm in like the beginning of it. So where did you? I guess what were the best things that you picked up and learned how to like control your emotions and stay focused? And I guess the real question is like, how did you or key things when finding your own balance? Because I think you have to be really, really self-aware to understand how to shape your life, I guess. Everybody else can tell you like this is fun, that's fun, and if you don't find it fun, then don't do it. But like compartmentalizing emotions and things like that.
I mean, yeah, I have gone on like this big like, I'm a lawyer, no I'm not, I'm married, no I'm not, I'm like eating disorder, kind of like normal athlete, fueling myself to be better. I think a lot of it comes down to actually knowing what you want and being strong enough to be true to what you want and not give a shit what anyone else wants or what society is telling you should be doing. Because I studied to be a lawyer because I thought I want to be like have like a prestigious job. So I'm like, if I'm a lawyer, everyone would be like, wow, she's a lawyer. I'm like, well, what is being a lawyer if you are miserable and you want to jump out the freaking office window because you hate your job so much? What is the point? What is that kind of life? Like, I mean, I guess, and I mean, it was the same, like with, I was married, I left my partner, that just was not right for me, and I knew that it wasn't. I guess it took me time to figure out how to be strong enough on my own, just actually focus on what I want and not always need approval from someone else or from anyone else. This sport, it did really help me because this is my thing and this is like where I channel my emotions, I guess, so if I'm just happy here eating my fancy salad, I'm like, YOLO, this is like so bomb right now. But I've got like this girl over here being like, yeah, Sheena's like, all like promoting this like ridiculous, like, this is a cheat meal because I'm eating a salad that's got 10 times more calories than my normal salad. Like, like it's like, okay, so people can judge me because this is what I want to be my meal off or whatever. I think initially I used to kind of like let things hurt my feelings, you know. I would have haters and I'd be like, you know, you'd be like, oh, you know, I feel like a failure because they're picking on me. And I think I kind of just got to this degree of strength where I was like, actually, this is what I want. This is what I'm doing. If people are in my life and they want to support me, awesome. If people are in my life because they want to like drag me down or like knock me over or like push me back from where I'm going, then they are not the right person to be in my life. Yeah. You know, the people that care about you, they're going to be in your life and they're going to support you no matter what. You think someone wants the best for you, but then you realize that it's only actually like maybe because what you're doing is like lifting them up, and then when you're no longer like making them feel better about themselves, they don't support you. Or maybe it's that in society, it's often like people are going to like knock you and hate on you, and it's actually probably because of their own shit and their own issues.
And once you realize that, like, it's easy to
when you realize that it's actually like, okay, well, obviously she's unhappy or she's jealous of this or she's insecure about something. And I guess so I kind of just got to this point where I was like, I guess just keep... I mean, I try and be professional as well in the way that I like conduct myself on social media. So like, I will often post about like, you know, I've had a tough week, but I'm not going to be like, oh, my boyfriend, this and that, and get like really, I try and keep things like professional in what I share. Yeah. But you can always share like the lesson that you've taken out of something without having to get like overly emotionally charged and like, you know, don't like throw like abuse at someone or like throw, you know, like it's not even necessary, but you know, we all can learn from things that challenge us in life. To actually get to where I've got to is just getting stronger, and every time something happens that sets me back, I learn to become stronger to overcome that, and it's just been a process really of just
cycles of learning, failing and learning.
Yeah, failing and learning from everything, not getting disheartened. I guess, you know, that's why I always talk about having this big goal, because this is like, my big goal is this, right? And I know that that's a huge goal, but if I aim for that, then I know that I'm going to always be getting better along the way. You know, you're never going to just get, if your goal is big, you're never just going to just get there. You're not just going to wake up and be Miss Olympia. Like, that's, like, you know, like for you, if your goal is to turn pro, you ain't just going to wake up a pro. You got to become the type of person that is ready to be a pro. And that might be obviously making physical improvements, depending on how. If you are a hard gainer, and I would presume you are a hard gainer because you're petite, like obviously you're going to have to do the things it takes to get to that position where you're ready. A lot of the time it's like all of these fucking setbacks. I'm like, when am I going to get a break? Like, please, can I just be lucky one time? But it's like, okay, well, obviously, I mean, I don't really believe in like luck, fate, but I'm like, you know, life gives you the shit that you need to learn, to grow, to become the person you need to be to achieve what you want to achieve. So I'm like, okay, well, life is giving me all of these tests and I haven't ever not overcome anything. I can overcome anything, you know, there's nothing that I haven't overcome yet. Why would there be anything to come that I can't overcome?
Yeah,
you know?
no.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I'm just like, when something happens, I think the biggest thing is to like take a step back and look at the bigger picture, you know. You're still, it's not like everything is a loss, it's a lesson, you know. So when things happen that you can't, you know, you can't control everything, do your best to control what you can control and do the best things with what you can control. You get stronger every time you don't achieve something. And, you know, I've never actually like got stronger just by winning a trophy or something. That doesn't make you better, that doesn't make you learn it. And if that's the thing about the sport that's so amazing, it's such a journey and it's such like everything in your life, and you've got to be mentally strong as well as able to physically do the work. You've got to be mentally stronger to keep pushing yourself when you're tired, whatever. So I think the most important thing is to, you know what you want and just don't take shit from people. Just be true to you and what you want. Like, don't worry about what anyone else wants, and don't get caught up in what other people want for you either. You know, like, so, you know, I studied to be a lawyer because I know that my mum will be proud of me if I'm a lawyer.
That was a hard one to get past for me, I feel you.
Yeah, I mean, that was the hardest thing for me in quitting my job as a lawyer. I kept going for 4.5 years and I was completely miserable until my mum was like, wow, you're like not even you anymore. Like she could see that I was just so unhappy. Like even my mum could see that I just wasn't even myself anymore. And I guess obviously if you're close with someone like that, that is a harder situation. But at the end of the day, the people that truly care about you want for you what you want for you, nothing else. You know? So if it's in like a relationship or a family situation, people that truly care about you, even if it's like take some time to learn and accept whatever that is what you want for you, they will support you if they truly unconditionally support you.
So this question isn't related to training unless you make it so, but what is harder, building your business or building your body? Think about it for a second first. I feel like you could go deep with either one.
Building your business and building your body are both obviously challenging. I would say that building your business is harder because you're not in control of other people's. The reason I love the sport so much is because this is my thing. I bust my ass. I know I work this hard, I get in, I get out what I put in. Whereas with your business, like I feel like I work 24 hours a day. I'm never not working. And sometimes I'm like, damn it, why are things just not taking off? But I mean, it's not that I'm doing everything I possibly could do. I'm like working my ass off here, but you don't control the other people that are going to interact with you. You don't control, obviously you need to learn, if you are working like say as a coach, obviously you need to learn to be like personable in the right way, that people are like, oh, she seems like the kind of person I would want to reach out to. I would want to work with her as my coach. So you've got to obviously come across to people the right way to get the right audience, I guess, so that comes down to, I always find as though my career, like competing, that is my market, because I am like, okay, I'm just a girl, I want to achieve this, I'm going to bust my ass and I'm going to show you that if you never give up and you work your ass off and you set your standards high and you don't compromise and you don't let people fuck with you, you can achieve whatever you want. So
people resonate with that.
Yeah, and so people resonate with that, and people, they see me doing this and they have hope that they could do it. And that's when, people, I think for me as well, like I've attracted a lot of clients who are like professionals. Because I was a lawyer for 4.5 years, I have a lot of people come to me and they're like, I don't just want a trainer, I want to work with someone that I actually am like on an intellectual level with, and we can actually really connect, and like they know how hard I work to become a lawyer to get that qualification, so they kind of understand that we're like on the same like
not playing field, but level, like mentally
on this same like, I don't know, just appreciate the same kind of communication, and all of that is easier. So in terms of you can change your physique because you're in control of everything. Building a business is hard because you can't control the people, the audience.
Frustrating, right?
You can't control the audience. It's like, sometimes I will spend an hour writing this really in-depth post, and I'm like, I put so much effort into writing this post that I thought people would really appreciate and it would really resonate with them. And then I post like this stupid ass quote. It took me 2 seconds. I didn't think about anything, and it gets more likes than my post that took me an hour to like write all this detail. You just can't control everything. So
taking the patience and really just
accepting it. I think it's harder to build your business because you're not in control. And when
you have to accept it that you're not in control.
When it comes to, you've got to accept it and not take it personally, and keep trying different things, and like be patient. Because just like changing your body, you're not going to build an empire overnight. Same way as you're not going to like completely transform your body overnight. You've got to want it enough, be patient, and keep putting one foot in front of the other. Even if you can't see the top of where you actually want to be, you got to kind of trust that if you keep giving your honest best, you will get there.
I like that. That's a good answer. Because I agree.
There's no right answer. Yeah. There is no right answer. So
everybody has their own answer though, and will learn from their story.
So I think it's just as important to be open-minded in what you are doing, and not be like, this is what I'm doing, I'm so strong, nothing can even knock me, because then you might
miss out.
you don't want to be so strong that you're just like completely stubborn and pig-headed and you're missing all these opportunities that are flying around you because you're like, no, this is what I'm doing, because that's not going to get you anywhere either. So, you have to be fierce but flexible in what you are doing if you want to get ahead. Alright, we're going to go and hit some glutes. I am going to take Lindsay through like some kind of typical glute exercises, and this is a challenge for me because I've never trained with Lindsay before. I've never really watched you train either, so
We've only been on the stairs
hey,
together.
there may not be anything I can teach you because you may know everything I know, but
I'll pick up
we're going to
everything.
soon find out if I can teach you things to do things slightly differently to get better results.
Yes. Let's do it.
We've just finished up the training session with Lindsay, and make sure that you are on SJF Tribe so that you get the full training intensive and the full Q&A. So she asked me lots of stuff, which is a lot of valuable stuff for you guys, and obviously as well with the training, I taught her a lot of new stuff, and I think she's going to have a sore little butt tomorrow, so that is awesome. But make sure you are on SJF Tribe, so go to my website, ShannahJaneFitness.com, join my membership platform, and every single week you get the full episodes, and you can learn a lot from the way I train and knowledge that is going to help you achieve better results in your training and hopefully make you be more badass in life. Episode 9, the full episode on my membership platform is going to include a full intensive, me training Lindsay, teaching her a whole lot of new stuff to take her glute training to the next level. If you haven't already, make sure that you check out the article that I wrote recently for my website, which was about how to greater develop your glute hamstring tie-in. A lot of bikini competitors want it. A lot of the time it's about not knowing what to do to get it. So read the article, subscribe to SJF Tribe membership platform so that you can get that full content, learn a lot of the stuff that I shared with Lindsay today. And that is all I have to say. Thank you for tuning in to episode 9. So let's keep doing our best in every situation, even if we can't control it, even if John from GWC is killing your vibe, keep going and just be strong in what you achieve, but be flexible in your methods because shit will happen that you can't control, and you're going to have to bend and you're going to have to take a different path. Thought you were going to go, but you can do it and you will get there. Episode 9 over and out.